From now on, we will study about the sequencer of a verb, that is a be-verb. The be-verb describes the existence of the subject as the general verb exists. There is a clause, I am. In this clause, the be-verb am describes the existence of the speaker as the subject. Just like the general verb exists. We can also find the similarity between the general verb exist and the be-verb with the trait of a verb that is intransitive. The speaker states this clause and the subject of this clause is the object of the statement by the speaker. The speaker reveals the existence as the subject in this clause. We can think of the clause in the Bible from the statement of the one, I am who I am. We can understand that the existence of our Lord is defined with the divine and soul existence in us. Our Lord reveals the holy presence in us with applying the personal pronoun I. So we can understand that this clause seems very simple but important to the fact that our Lord be one reveals his existence in a statement. We can also understand that every statement is spoken by our Lord Jesus Christ. The be-verb am is the form of the be-verb to describe the present existence of the speaker as the subject. The form of the be-verb am is especially applied for the speaker as the subject. The definition of the be-verb is changed with the description about the subject by the subjective complement to describe the condition of the subject. In this class, the definition of the be-verb is to describe the existence of the speaker as the subject, and with the application of the subjective complement that can be an indication or a description, like the adjective happy. We can understand that the definition of the be-verb is changed to describe the condition of the subject. There is the first example, you're happy. The definition of the be-verb to describe the existence of the subject, who are the listeners, is changed to the condition of the subject with the adjective happy to describe how the subjects are. The speaker describes how the listener as the subject are on the premise that the listeners as the subject exist. The adjective happy that is applied as a subjective complement is applied to describe the condition of the subject this description of the objective is according to the role of an adjective or a determiner to describe a subject or an object in a clause. The phenomenon that the definition of the be-verb is changed can be understood with the fact that the be-verb has the trait of the adverb with a subjective complement. We learn that the be-verb includes the trait of an adverb when it comes to the phrase of the general verb exists as. We can understand that the definition of the be-verb includes the definition of the preposition as well as the definition of the general verb exists. Because the definition of the preposition as is applied to define the subject of the preposition as and the object of the preposition as the equivalent ones to define an unstated subject. There is a conference, the be-verb to include the trait of the adverb. The be-verb to describe the existence of the subject describes the condition of the subject with a subjective complement happy because the be-verb that specifies how the existence of the subject is may be possible from obtaining the trait of the adverb. As well as the adjective on indication can be applied to describe the condition of the subject in a way to define what or who the subject is. Maybe the point that we focus on. The form of the be-verb is deviated according to the number of the subject and whether the subject participates in the conversation or not. From the first standard, there can be two options in English to discern the number of the subject as singular or
not singular.
So the first standard makes the two options, and from the second standard about whether the subject participates in the conversation or not with the speaker, the two options
are made
as well. The first option is that the subject participates in the conversation with the speaker and the listeners. And the second option is that the subject does not participate in the conversation with the speaker and the listeners. So we can understand that there can be four
cases
from the two options. The subject whose number is 1 and
who
participates in the conversation with the listeners is the speaker himself. The form of the be verb to describe the speaker is one of the forms of the be verb, and the subject whose number is 1 and
who,
does not participate in the conversation with the speaker and the listeners is able to be indicated by the personal pronoun he, she, or it. The form of the be verb to describe the subject who does not participate in the conversation is one of the forms of the be verb is. In the third case, the subject whose number is plural and
who,
participate in the conversation are able to be indicated by the personal pronoun we to indicate the subject, including the speaker and the listeners, indicated by the personal pronoun you. The form of the be verb to describe
the subject including the speaker or
the listeners as the subject is one of the forms of the be verb are the subject whose number is plural and
that,
do not participate in the conversation among the speaker and the listeners are able to be indicated by the personal pronoun they. The form of the be verb to describe the subject indicated by the personal pronoun they is one of the forms of the be verb are. We will study about the third and fourth cases to classify the sort of the subject. The subject whose number is plural are described by the form of the be verb are. Commonly, the be verb are is the form of the be verb to describe the present existence of the plural subject. In this page, we will study about the second case of the classification for the subject whose number is not 1 and does not participate in the conversation among the speaker and the listeners. The subject that does not participate in the conversation with the speaker and the listeners is indicated by the personal pronoun he, she, or it. And the subject is described by the form of the be verb is. The be verb is a form of the be verb to describe the existence of the singular subject that does not participate in the conversation with the speaker.